Good morning, team. Once again, we're back with another review video. This one is the one that lots of people fell down on, and I want to start at the basis of the math behind this lesson so that we can get the entire lesson complete. All right, so this is Unit 3, Lesson 7, where we're comparing side lengths and we're finding the missing side. But before we get into any of those, we're going to look at proportions. Now, if you have done chemistry, which all of you have, you know that there's lots of proportions in chemistry, especially when you do stoichiometry. Now, in math class, a very long time ago, before you did algebra, you were also introduced to proportions. But just for a refresher, let's see if we can solve this problem. Go ahead and take however long you need to solve it before I do. Just pause the video and get it done, and then you come back and see the way that I do it. All right, welcome back. Hope and trust that you already have the answer, but I'll show you how it is done. Now, these problems do not have one way to complete it. There are several different ways. I'm only going to show you one way, the way that I believe is the most effective. You do not have to use my method, but just check your answers with mine to see if your answer is correct. Now, the way that I'm going to show you is what we call cross multiplication. What that means is that whenever there's a proportion set up on both sides of the equal sign, what you do is you cross multiply. So you take this 2 and you multiply by the 9, and you take this x and you multiply by 3. What that gives you is now 2 times 9, which is 18. Bring down your equal sign. Now you have 3 times x, which is 3x. We would get rid of the 3 by dividing both sides by 3. We're left with, let me make this a little bit clearer. Where's my eraser? Eraser. Okay. All right. So it would make this x, 18 divided by 3. 3 6 is 18. So the answer would be 6. Okay, so x equals 6. Please note that there are several ways to do this. This is the way that we'll be using to solve these proportions. You can use other ways as long as your answer ends up being congruent with mine. All right, let's dive into the lesson. So in our practice problem here, it says in the diagram shown, triangle ABC, this one, and is similar to NWE. Write a proportionality statement and use it to determine the value of x. Okay, so we're trying to find this x value here. The first thing that we need to do is to figure out which sides are proportional to which. So I'm just going to use the statement here to figure that out. It says AB is proportional to the first two letters, which would be NW. So let me highlight that. AB is proportional to NW. Okay, so both of those would be on the same side for my proportionality statement. Secondly, I need another side to have something to compare it to. So how about we use the sides that have numbers? Okay, so AC, what is AC proportional to? So that would be the first and the third number letter. that would be equivalent to or similar to the N and the E, which is the first and the third. So that would be this side. Okay, so now to set up my statement would say AB, side AB is similar to side NW, which would be equal to AC being similar to NE. Okay? Now that we have that piece of information, we can then go ahead and fill it out. The length of AB is 12. AB is 12, and NW is X. AC is 10, and NE is 24. Okay? Now that we have this, we can go ahead and solve by cross multiplying. Let's work it out down here. So we have 12 over X equals 10 over 24. Going to go ahead and cross multiply just like before. Cross multiply. Okay. So we have 10 times x, which would be 10x. Then we have 12 times 24. 12 fours is 48. 12 times 2 is 24, and 8 make 28. Okay. So we divide both sides by 10. X would therefore be equal to 28.8. Okay. So X equals 28.8. Fine. Okay. Hopefully that makes sense to you. You see how I got all of what I got. Moving on to the next practice problem. Okay. The similarity statement for the diagram at the left has changed. Notice this one has changed to ABC is similar to NEW. To find the value of X, Teva uses the equation like what we had before. Explain why J-Neal's equation is incorrect. Be sure to use the words corresponding and proportional in your response. Okay, so let's take a look. Prior, it says ABC, this triangle, is similar to NEW. Now, what that would mean, if we were using the same size like last time, is that AB would be similar to NW, first two letters, and the first two letters. This time, it's no longer NW, it would be NE, because it changed. So this time it would be NE. Okay, we would also see that AC, first and the last, would now be similar to NW, which is the first and the last. So this time it would be a little bit different. Be this way. Okay? So our new proportion would not be this one. It would be 12 over 24 and 10 over x. Okay? So we would write it 12 over 24 and 10 over x. Okay? You can see the difference with this from before. From before, we have it this way. Okay? Whereas before, we have it some way completely different. Okay? And that's because of the change in this. We always use this statement in order to find out which sides are equivalent and which sides are not. Okay? And if we were to do it out, we would cross multiply, just like before, and we would have 12x equals 240. And so we would divide both sides by 12, and x would be 20. Okay, so this time x would be 20, and that would make it proportional. Okay, if these two sides are similar. If that were true, then that would mean that the scale factor for this one, the scale factor would be 2. So this one would multiply by 2 to give you 24, and this one would multiply by 2 to give you 20. Okay? But it's all based upon the way that it is written. Okay? You can't get around this. You have to follow the way that it's written. I know you want to just take a look at how it looks here and throw in your numbers, but that's going to get you in trouble. Always pay attention to how it is written here. Okay? All right. Our third practice problem, then we'll close it off here, is 2 creeks flow through a forest. Sonic is trying to build a log bridge that will join the 2 creeks as shown in the diagram. He makes several measurements of the surrounding area. Find the length of Sonic's bridge. Okay, so this is his log bridge. We're trying to figure out what that is. We can just call this x. Okay, so we need a side that is similar to this, which in my estimation, from looking at this, I can see that the side that is similar to it would be this one. How I can tell is this side has the same markings as this one, which means that these two angles are congruent to these two angles. Okay. As a result, I know that this side and this side is congruent. Okay. So I can set up a proportion, which would be the 8 over x. Could set that one up. Okay. Now I just need one more congruent, one more pair of similar sides. Now I want to find the sides that have numbers. See, this one doesn't have a number, so I want to find a side that is similar to this side. Notice I look at my angles here. This angle and this angle, so it's the one with the 2 and the 3. When I look over here, I see two sides with numbers, but I notice that this side has the 2 and the 3. As a result, I know that this side and this side are similar. So let me highlight that different color. Okay, those two sides are similar. So therefore, I can set up a proportion and make sure that you keep them similar. So I have my bigger triangle on top and my smaller triangle at the bottom. So bigger triangle number